חברה 6. בישיבה הטכנית היו פחות משתתפים מבדרך כלל. בתוך שטף הדיבור הכללי, המהנדס הבכיר קטע את עצמו, שאל, מי מסכם את הישיבה? הוא ניהל את הישיבה. הסתכל עליי. הסתכלתי עליו חזרה בלי למצמץ. המשיך. אמר שאנחנו כבר בהיריון. הפרויקט כבר התחיל, אנחנו באיחור וחייבים לזוז מהר. הסתכל שוב על מנהל הפרויקט ואמר לו שצריך לזכור טוב טוב את מקרה הדמו. צחק. בסוף במזל הצלחנו לאנוס את המכונה לעבוד. אמר. אחרי הכל הדמו דפק כמו שעון שוויצרי. כולם צחקו, כי המנוע באמת היה שוויצרי. I'm Tehila HAKIMI. I'm from Tel Aviv, Israel, and I write poetry, fiction. I publish one graphic novel, and also I'm a mechanical engineer. Well, I think the best thing about it is that I live in a very interesting time and in a very diverse, problematic area. So there is a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about, and also Israel has a really interesting and diverse literary scene. So it's a good time. It's a bad time to live in, but a good time to write about. Israel publication, literary publication, getting more and more small, not a lot of readers. The market becomes very capitalist, and so it's very hard to live from books, from literature. So, but I guess it's the same everywhere. Yeah. Food, definitely food. Yeah. Like Mediterranean food, influenced by all those immigrants came to Israel from all around. Arab food, food. Sun, vegetables, fruits, yeah. I was always a reader, you know. I think most writers begin as readers, of course. And I started to write poems and short stories when I was very, very young, but it took me some time to publish. So I think that now that I have a writing career, it's quite a pleasurable process. From the moment I start that I have this idea, or I just feel that I want to try something. I really enjoy the Hebrew language. I enjoy investigating a new idea. And then I really love the process with my editors. I have been working with my editor, Oded Wolkstein, from the beginning, like 5 years ago. And we're working together since, and he's this brilliant, amazing person. So it's always interesting to get him into the process from quite an early stage. And also on my last book, I've been working with another editor. Her name is Na'amat, and she's also brilliant and very sensitive. So I really like the part where the editors come in. I guess that the part that is a bit harder is the linguistic editing, and the part where the publisher comes in, or some of my books I published independently. So it's a lot of labor, it's a lot of work that, you know, talking to bookstores, talking to journalists, and then you become this small factory. So this part is quite hard and tiring and sometimes not satisfying, you know. Yeah. When I went to engineering school, I went to get a profession, and this profession eventually assists me with writing whatever I want to write, to be free about the subjects, the form, the length, not think about that I need to publish a popular book in order to sell a lot of books, you know. But from the other hand, it puts a lot of restrictions and especially in time or space or a room of your own kind of, because most of my days I spend in the office, most of the time of the day I spend at work, so that doesn't leave me a lot of time to write. So the engineering career, from one hand, gives me freedom, from the other hand, puts a lot of constrictions, but also gets inside my writing as subject, but both influences the form and the rhythm and yeah. Well, I'm not sure because, you know, writers are people. And I guess you're a citizen of a country, you're a citizen of the world, you have the same duties as all other people. I think if there would be a one duty, public, is just to be very loyal to his art and to himself. Yeah, this is, I think, the duty of the writer. Yeah, I think they do have a responsibility towards literature as you know, as they do to sports or to any other cultural, to education. Yeah, it's important. It's part of the place that you live in, to have this strong cultural literary scene. Though only if the government or the state doesn't take credit on it, or also doesn't interfere with whatever these writers, poets write about. I mean, I wouldn't want to see my governments, my state, supporting more books to come out, more translations to come out, to give writers more time and more funding to write books, to be involved in cultural exchange with other countries. But at the same time, I wouldn't want them to interfere with what these writers want to talk about, and not to fund only writers that are within their, you know, view. Yeah. So actually I want to recommend or, you know, tell you about two Israeli writers that are active today, or currently are in the very, very important in the Hebrew Israeli literary scene, but are not so much familiar to the American literary scene, I think. The first is Oli Kastablu, and I brought her book in Hebrew. And she's an amazing novelist. She started publishing, I think, 25 years ago, maybe more. And she's this one of the first postmodern Hebrew writers. She had two books that have been published in English. The first is Dolly City, and the second one is an Egyptian novel. And what I took from her is, first of all, I enjoy reading all her books. So this is from one side of it, but also she had this, I like cruel storytelling, and so she has this cruel kind of language, or she's not really fond of nice characters, so I really appreciate it about her. And yeah, and the other one is a poet and also a novelist called Shimon Adaf. He was here, I think, and he's an amazing, brilliant writer who's also very much accomplished and appreciated in Israel, but not very much, I think, popular to the wide, readers. His work is just brilliant. he writes detective novels and also just novels, and he writes poetry. And for me, he's a teacher. Like each one of his books that I ever read is like a lesson. And he has one collection of poetry named Aviva No, which was published in English, and also one of his first novels, Sunburnt Faces, that was published, and also forthcoming his detective trilogy. I think it will come out soon, like next year. It's amazing. You must read it. Well, the time in Iowa, I think, is crucial for me. And also, it's this amazing opportunity because I never had so much time to write. I never had so much time to have conversation about literature, to read. And because I'm writing a novel, I'm trying to write a novel that is set in America. So it also has a lot of input into what I write. I mean, it's not set in Iowa, but still it's America everywhere here, right? So it helps. I'm really grateful for being here. Sometimes I don't believe I'm here. It seems like this, it's the author's dream, you know? Meeting all these friends from all around. Some of them really became close friends. And also I feel that it really influences the rhythm and the form of my fiction writing, because normally I don't have a lot of time. So I write in really short fragments, and now I have more time to go back to the text every day. So it gives it a different rhythm, and it allows me to write something of a length. Yeah, so it's definitely influenced my writing. Yeah.